Enhance your experience by becoming a supporting member. Gain access to unseen videos and video requests. 3-day free trial by visiting zionmembership.com. Chosen ones, empaths. This is a very common tactic, right? This is why many of you may say, when's the Hoover going to come? When is the Hoover going to come? You're looking for the Hoover. You're looking for signs. You know, the Hoover's been taking place for a long time. You see, with their silence. It's a reverse Hoover. It's a very common tactic for narcissists to use against the victim, because it puts you in a vulnerable state. It affects your self-esteem. They know that you'll start to overanalyze and start to think things through. And basically, it's a blatant baiting operation to try and draw you out towards them. It's a reverse Hoover, right? This is what they're doing. It's well thought about. It's well planned out. They know in their heads, if they withdraw, if they go silent on you, if they ghost you, it's going to put you in a position where all you do is desire them. All you want to do is have a conversation with them. So you need to detach from this emotional side of things, right? Stop. I don't know if you are, but some of you may be being self-critical. You may be thinking of things that you could have possibly done better. You may be looking back at the relationship and be thinking of mistakes you made or things like that. All of that needs to be eradicated from your mindset. Literally eradicated. You don't need to be running analysis on things you could have done better, things you could have said, things you didn't say, all of these things, right? You need to know one thing, right? You done your best that you could possibly do by your comprehension at the time and your abilities at the time. You done your best by this person, and that's all that matters. And you done your best, right? You done your best. And the thing is this reverse Hoover operation that they're doing on you, right? They're trying to make you become someone else, right? Not like when I mention, if you've heard me mention in other videos, if this is your first video, but in other videos you may hear me mention when they try to turn other suppliers into another supply. No, I'm not addressing that. They're not trying to turn you into another supply. What I'm saying is they're trying to hoover and extract every single possible minuscule of supply from you and make you in a place of desperation. You see, they're trying to change the dynamics of the relationship. They're trying to put themselves on a level above and you beneath, right? That's the dynamics they're trying to put on the relationship. Those dynamics are illusionary. Those dynamics only exist in your mind if you let them, right? If you detach from this emotionally, psychologically, physically, if you detach from this narrative they're trying to force feed you, right, which is trying to disrupt your self-esteem, which is trying to make you unhappy, which is trying to make you feel worthless, right? If you detach from all of those things, if you lose the desire to want to speak to them, right? I know it's easier said than done, but you need to incorporate these things for your healing. You need to incorporate these things to improve your life, right? You need to understand that this narcissist is playing a game and they're reverse hoovering you, right? Please, don't none of you bite the bait, right? Don't none of you actually reach out to them or contact them, or, you know, don't reach out to them. You know, narcissists, you know, they always leave an angle open for you to reach out to them. There's always an angle open, right? There's always an angle open. There's a way that you could contact them. They always leave a way open, right? And they're trying to mislead you down a path, right, to reach out to them. And the thing is, if you do probably reach out to them, you know, they'll move the goalposts again. You know, they'll move the goalposts, for example. They'll move the goalposts, and then they'll try and make you chase them a bit further. And they want you to chase them and want them and desire them. And, you know, they're trying to really change the narrative on this relationship, right? And the thing is they probably done temperament checkers throughout the relationship, you know. They probably withdrew slightly from you or gave you periods of silence throughout the relationship, and they noticed that you don't respond well to that. So they worked out in their heads, they do think about this stuff, they work it out, they premeditate, they worked out a plan that if they withdraw entirely and put you through silent treatment, that this is going to make you become the best version of yourself for them. Not the best version of yourself for you, the best version of yourself for them, right? The best version of you for them, the one that's going to be desperately pursuing them, the one that's going to be hurt and broken and upset and devastated and in need and craving their companionship. Please, chosen ones and empaths, break from that emotional state. Break from that emotional cycle they've been putting you through. I don't know how long you've been tolerating this silence from this narcissist involved in your life, but literally from whenever the silence began, you know, and onwards, that was a Hoover. It's a reverse Hoover. It's a strategic move. It's often used by narcissists. It's not often talked about in the community. You often hear me refer to it as baiting. Baiting you, right? This is what they do. This is what narcissists involved in your life will do, right? But it's not often talked about. Everyone thinks that the Hoover is this declaration of love, right? That's what a lot of victims of narcissistic abuse, chosen ones, empaths, and other victims of narcissistic abuse believe, that the Hoover is going to be this declaration of love, or the narcissist that was involved in their life reaching out to them and apologizing, or the narcissist involved in their life reaching out and saying they're sorry and apologizing and declaring their love for them. And, you know, in some cases, some narcissists do that. I'm not going to rule it out. Some narcissists that are involved in people's lives will do that plan, right? But same way, you know, it's deception, it's fakery. You know, you can't really trust them. You know, they destroyed the trust of the relationship. But narcissists will use this reverse Hoover on victims, you know, as a punishment. It's a combined reverse Hoover with a punishment. They want you to feel desperate. They want you to feel alone. They want you to need them and want them more, right? Now, I don't want none of you thinking that you didn't show them that you love them enough, or you didn't show them that you cared about them enough, right? Please, right? All of you done and more than enough for these narcissists that are involved in your life. You've done more than they deserve, right? And you got to understand that anyone who does these types of strategic moves, right, like going silent to reverse Hoover you, is seriously deranged. Like, they're seriously messed up in the head, you know. To inflict this on someone, to try and inflict this suffering on someone, right? To actually put a chosen one, an empath, a being of God, a being of light, a being of the universe, to actually try and impose these dynamics on them for a selfish agenda, to make you desperate for their attention, is a really malicious and nasty thing to do. So all of you need to see beneath the veil and actually see what's actually really happening here, right? This is a reverse Hoover you're going through, right? You don't need to worry. You don't need to fret. You need to lose the desire and the necessity, or not the necessity, but the desire. That's the better way to description. You need to lose the desire and the want to actually rekindle with them. You need to lose the desire to want to speak to them. You know, you need to think about what they're actually doing to you now, and what they have been doing for however long this reverse Hoover's been taking place, this silent treatment has been taking place in the form of a reverse Hoover. You need to reflect on that and think about that. Please press the like and the subscribe button. Help your brother out. It'll take 2 seconds of your time. Help with the algorithm, just like this video is showing up for you. Help it show up for someone else in the community. Thank you so much. But you need to think about, you know, the logics behind them, you know, initiating this to happen, you know, causing this to happen, inflicting this on you, right? It's a very nasty, nasty, horrible, horrible thing to do, right? It's a very horrible thing to do. And, you know, if you can be stoic, indifferent, emotionless, you know, that's all the better for you, you know. And really that is this kind of the way you should kind of roll with this, you know. Once you break it down to the essence of what it actually is, it's a reverse Hoover, you know. They're trying to make you desperate. They're trying to make you want them. They're trying to make you want them more. They're trying to affect your self-esteem. They're trying to make you overanalyze. They're trying to make you ruminate. They're trying to make you obsess over them. You know, it's a very, very sadistic, horrible, nasty thing to do. It's very immature too. You know, it's very immature, you know. They've often done this after a discard or a reverse discard, you know, or even if, you know, they become so toxic, you cut them off. They probably done this. They will use this reverse Hoover tactic, to lure you back into the relationship, or to lure you out, to chase after them. You know, it's a common occurrence, and it's not often discussed in the community. You know, please share this with someone that you think might help, you know, because this topic's not often talked about. You know, it has the chosen one and the empath, and the victim of abuse thinking, you know, there's something wrong with them, you know, or there's something wrong that they did, you know. It has the victim of narcissistic abuse very, very confused, unless you can see beneath the veil, you know, and work it out quickly about what's going on. So if you've discovered this video, it's very fortunate that you've come across this if you're going through this experience, and you shouldn't forget what I'm sharing with you in this video. You know, you shouldn't forget it. You know, it's one of those videos, save it in your playlist, you know, save it in your playlist, revisit it maybe. You know, you might be tired now, you might be watching this before you go to sleep, you might be really tired, or you might be watching this first thing in the morning. Revisit this video, you know, and even if you don't revisit the video, think about what I've addressed in this video, what's actually taking place. This is a narcissist that is involved in your life, right? That is baiting you to affect your self-esteem, to affect your self-worth, to make you desperate, to make you idolize them, to make you only see them out of all of the people in the world, right? That's what it's a punishment. You know, it's a very malicious, horrible, horrible thing to do to a being of light like you are, you know. And realistically, people that do this type of behavior, you know, they're consumed with negative energy. You know, they're consumed with negative spirits. You know, they've been whipped by the devil. You know, they're seriously like regular people don't do this sort of stuff. You know, regular people don't do this sort of stuff. Genuine people wouldn't do this sort of stuff. You know, they honestly wouldn't. They wouldn't do these sorts of things to someone who was so loving, someone who was so kind, someone who was so empathetic. You know, they honestly wouldn't do these sorts of things to them, right? So you need to take it as what it is. Take it with a whole bucket of salt, not even a pinch of salt, right? And detach from this whole experience you're going through. Detach from it emotionally, spiritually detach from it and look at it as what the fuck it really is. You know, this is someone, sorry for my language, excuse my language, but look at it as what it really is. This is a parasite, a dusty weirdo narcissist that is consumed with negative spirits, negative energy, whatever you want to call it, controlled by the devil, whatever they are, right? Devil inspired, you know, servant to the devil, whatever you want to call them, right? They're not one with God. They're not one with the universe. They're not one with their higher self. They're not one with the angels. You know, they're consumed with demonic entities, and it makes them act out in these low vibrational frequency kind of ways of, you know, doing low vibrational things and low vibrational acts, you know, that if it pulls you in emotionally, it's going to make you start feeling low in yourself, and it's going to start making you have low self-esteem, and it's going to start making you affected in that way. So you have to break from this. You know, this is really what's happening. You know, please, with this information, don't feel like, you know, you think, okay, so Zion, like, they're doing a reverse Hoover, so they want you back or something like that. I'm telling you that if you start pursuing them, they're gonna move the goalpost. Right? Please, I should have said this earlier. If you start pursuing them, right, you know, even if they've restricted other avenues, you know, they would have left the avenue open that you can reach out to them. They always do. This is what narcissists involved in people's lives will always do. They'll leave an outlet that you can reach out to them. You know, they'll move the goalposts. You know, and none of you should break. You know, what you got to understand is, you know, you need to focus on your own self. You don't need to communicate with them. You don't need to speak to them. You don't need to have a sit-down talk and tea and coffee to get closure. You know, you need to use this experience that they're putting you through as the closure. You know, this should bring you closure. This video should really bring you closure, because I'm informing you about the motive that is behind what's happening to you, right? This is more than just a narcissist discarding you, reverse discarding you, or being cut off because they become too toxic and putting you through silent treatment. This is a reverse Hoover. This is what's occurring, right? This is what's occurring. Trying to bait you out. Try to disrupt your spirit. Trying to disrupt you emotionally, spiritually, mentally. You know, they're trying to disrupt your psyche, make you think low of yourself, affect your self-esteem. It's a malicious, horrible thing to do to someone that just showed them love and light and peace, honesty, transparency, truth, kindness, generosity. You know, that's what you've done for them. You know, you don't deserve this type of treatment. And that's why I'm saying it should be your closure, because they're doing this to you to actually get more from you. You know, whether it's about converting you to another source of supply, right? And what I mean by convert to another source of supply, I'm not trying to say, like I will reiterate now, I'm not trying to say make you out like another supply source. When I say convert you to another source of supply, I mean convert you to someone who's pursuing them and chasing them and hunting them down and desperate for them. You know, they're trying to make you in a place of need and desiring them and only seeing them, and you know what I'm saying? You have to break from this emotionally. You have to use this as your closure. You need to be like, hang about a second. This narcissist that was involved in your life is trying to bait you out, is trying to draw you out, make you chase after them, trying to make you start to overanalyze the situation, trying to make you look and, you know, run analysis on yourself and put yourself down and affect your self-esteem. Like, shit, that's your closure right there. That's the motive behind it. You don't need to be upset. You don't need to be emotional. You don't need to be sad. You know, this should uplift you. You know, this should be the final piece of the puzzle. You know, to anything that was preventing you going on with your healing journey. This should be the final piece to the puzzle, you know, that will help secure you going on a path of recovery, you know. I'm not saying it's going to happen instantly or, you know, but this should really help, because there may have been a few missing pieces. There may have been a missing piece to the puzzle, or some links that you hadn't connected, some dots that you hadn't connected, and it was keeping you, you know, from getting to the next point of your healing, for example. This is what it is, right? This is what their silence means. They're reverse hoovering you. So none of you bite the bait. None of you chase after them. None of you put yourself down ever again. None of you start thinking that you've done something wrong, or start thinking that you could have done something better. Please, right? It's a very common tactic that narcissists do, right? And before this backfires on them as well, you know. If you play this right, this will backfire on their ass, right? It will backfire on them. Because they burn bridges, and, you know, they done this action towards you, right? This leaves them stuck. They have no other option. They're waiting on your beck and call, if that's the right description. They're waiting on your beck and call, you know? For them to navigate forward with this operation, they need you, right? Because it's a reverse Hoover. They need you to initiate contact. They need you to reach out. Yes, they'll probably move the goalpost. Yes, they'll do all them things, but for them to move forward with this plan and this operation and whatever they have in store for the next part of it, you know, whether it's moving the goalpost or whatever, or rejecting you, or trying to crush you even more, or whatever they're going to try and do, you know, they need you to bite the bait. So if you don't bite the bait and you get on with your own life, you detach emotionally and you focus on your own healing now, and you use this piece of the puzzle to connect the dots for your healing and your recovery, you know, there's nothing they can do, and they find themselves stuck. They back themselves into a corner and they fucked up, you know. This is them shooting themselves in the foot. You've got to look at this stuff from a bird's eye view, you know. That's what will help you detach emotionally. You got to look at what's happening here. This narcissist has backed away, you know, has backed away, left the bait, and is waiting for you to make the move. Don't bite the bait. This is a reverse Hoover, right? Do not get hoovered back into this relationship. Do not get hoovered to start chasing after them, pursuing them, contacting them, you know? Please, chosen ones, empaths, detach from this emotionally. So anyway, thank you for watching today. Please press the like and the subscribe button. If you would like to donate to the channel, you don't have to, but if you would like to contribute or support the channel, you can always find a link in the description box. I've also got the Zion Spiritual channel. The link for that is in the description box. I'm touching on more spiritual aspects to do with narcissism on that. So if you want to check out that channel, and if you like it, you can subscribe or something like that. If you find the information useful. But I am gonna start addressing more spiritual aspects on the channel, you know, going forward. But before I draw this video to a close, there's a few things I want to bring to your attention. I've launched a new free community forum on the membership website. It's open for everyone to use to build, expand, and connect to fellow survivors. I'm looking at the longevity of the forum, as I should have created one when I first launched the membership site. I'm also running one-to-one sessions. If you want tailor-made advice and me to shed some light on your issues, you can always reach out. The Empath group meeting is coming up on the 28th, and there is a new WhatsApp and Telegram group created for survivors to stay in touch. Lastly, if you want crisis email support and a plan of action, the links for all I've mentioned are in the description box below. And if you'd like to know more about You Must Know This to Heal from narcissistic abuse, click this video here. So anyway, I'll be back with another video soon. Peace.